My name is James. I'm your host for this live stream. And today we have a very special guest. Her name is Isabella Ha, and she's from a small little town. And I'll let her tell you where it is and what the town is all about. But it's really interesting that I was able to share a wonderful conversation with her just before the live stream. Isabella is 23 years old. She spent 10 years in Melbourne, and she studied and she did her degree, bachelor degree in psychology, University of Melbourne. And now she is completing her master's at Monash University, master in counseling. And interestingly, I also studied at Monash University, and that's where I did my economics and law many years ago. So just to say hello to Miss Isabella, you're live now. Just say hello to everybody.
Hi everyone. It's Isabella here, and I'm really honored to be here today to share my story with you guys.
Yeah. So I will bring you back in a short while once I explain a little bit about NLG. And I look forward to having a deep conversation with you. And I think that's
absolutely
interesting stuff that you have to share with us. Right. Now, coming back to NLG, a lot of, especially the English-speaking community, they tend to ask for more facts, more scientific evidence and stuff like that. So what I have done is I have completed about 10 videos, right, to explain about energy, about so many stuff that goes with it that we don't understand and would like to have the ability to comprehend. And thankfully, today we have a wonderful thing called quantum science. And quantum science has sort of bridged, between the spirituality and science, and sort of put it all together to help us understand what's going on around us much better. So very soon, I guess these 10 videos, and it won't stop at 10. I will continue to make as many as I can as we go along to help the people in our community, as well as to the new viewers who are interested to find out more about energy, to hopefully understand and get some kind of positive feedback from these videos yourselves when you watch them, and come and join us in our journey and experience a wonderful healing, as well as wonderful stuff that comes with the energy. Because one of those things that I have found out is, and this is something that you can observe, sick people, their energy is very low. Am I right? So when you have healthy people, naturally their energy is higher than the sick people. Now, when we talk about the energy, we talk about vibration. And a lot of us have heard about law of attraction, right? Law of attraction is like likes attract likes. In other words, if you're in the same frequency, you will attract things or people in that frequency. So if you're in a lower frequency, for example, when you're living in anxiety, fear, and depression and whatnot, or sickness, your energy is very low, then unfortunately, it's almost impossible for you to connect or attract things or people with a high frequency. So this law of attraction, however, is actually derived from the law of vibration. So it starts off with vibration. Now, the wonderful thing about science today is that they have the technology to look into matters, right? Matters are like particles are made of, right? And then when you break down, let's say, for example, the chair, table, and whatever you see, the physical matters around us, they are made of particles, and these particles are made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms, and these atoms, if you really, put it on a microscope and really go all the way down, the electron, protons, and neutrons, when you break it all down, basically we are left with what we call energy. So energy is everything, and everything is energy. That's the point. And science is already able to see that today, which is good, right? So if energy is everything and everything is energy, then how then do we, attract this energy into our bodies to help us? So our thoughts and everything about us is also energy. So we can change our thoughts, our feelings, and everything around us by changing our energy frequency, because it all comes back to vibration, right? So vibration is energy in itself. And it has been said that when we are healthy, our energy in our body is around 60 megahertz to 70 megahertz. Some say 72, but that is a healthy body. And of course, it varies from organ to organ, but approximately 60 to 70 or 72 megahertz. When we reduce when we have a reduction in our energy to around 58, that's where, our immune system goes down and we probably have the common flu and stuff like that. But when it goes down below 42 megahertz, that's when we are prone to the attack of cancer cells and all kinds of chronic and very severe illnesses. So it is an advantage to us if we are able to increase our energy. And that's what we do at NLG. We actually will teach you how to harness the energy from the universe to enter our body and resonate with the heart's frequency, and together combine. That's how we practice love and the 5 forms of love, because we believe that the heart is the key to help us to connect to the wonderful energy from the universe. And science has also found that our heart actually is pretty amazing. The electromagnetic field from our heart is actually 100 times stronger than the ones produced by our brain. So you may think that our brain actually controls our entire body, but I think if you watch one of my videos, you will think again, because it's actually your heart that controls your brain. Our emotions are pretty strong, and emotions comes from where? Emotions comes from the heart, right? So if we practice the 5 forms of love and we are able to constantly put ourselves in the +1 -1 state of mind, and this +1 -1 we will teach you in our class as well, is basically to keep yourself calm and at peace, and you will be able to radiate and resonate all this wonderful energy from your heart connected to your brain and to the rest of your body. Sounds good? Sounds amazing, isn't it? And the good news is that it's for free, right? So we conduct these classes at NLG for free, and the next class 1 will be in November. So we haven't finalized the date yet, but the class 2, we are going to have this coming Friday. So for those of you who have already completed class 1, do join us and register for our class 2, and you can then increase your energy and also at the same time support others with your energy, because your energy is higher now and you have the ability to do that. That is, you can transfer, you can share the energy and help your loved ones, which probably may need it, right now. So, okay, that's enough for this introduction about NLG and a little bit of scientific talk about it. Now, I would like to bring back our special guest, Isabella, all the way from a small town in near Hanoi, but also very near to Thailand. Is if I pronounce it correctly, Isabella is a Thai Nguyen.
Thai Nguyen. Yep, Thai Nguyen City.
And so perhaps maybe you can explain more about this little place and how it got started. Yeah.
So I am Vietnamese fully, but I also identify as one of a member of a ethnic group, so a minority group in Vietnam, one of the 54 minority group in Vietnam. And here, I live in Thai Nguyen City, but here my family built a little village. It's called Thai Hai Village, and it's sort of preserve Thai ethnic culture. So and so I identify as one, and that explains my outfit for today. this is what I wear on a daily basis, and they explain the scarves as well. And it's a beautiful, beautiful indigo color. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but this is my traditional outfit, and we have our own language and our own customs and traditions, and amid civilizations and people moving away from the, I guess, old school stuff. We over here have a vision of building it and uphold the values and tradition of it. And so
you were telling me earlier that around 20 years ago,
and
your family and you were like planting trees and
absolutely
basically just starting the town at that time, and it must be quite amazing. The trees must have grown quite big now, and also a lot of developments and stuff has happened so basically it's your mom helped to start this place, and to see it coming into fruition and to what it is today, it's a big milestone. And I guess it's not easy to start a town, in today's day and age. You need a lot of planning, a lot of support, a lot of things. So what actually happened? I mean, all those years must have been so amazing what your mom has done.
Yeah, I mean, so she has this vision of, because she's also identified as someone who from this minority group, and so just this vision of because people was just throwing away values, like traditional values, and their houses, still houses, and so she bought them back, and she what people was sort of throwing away, she bought them back, and we started when I was, I think, very young, 4 or 5 years old. I was planting trees with her, right? And we have basically nothing here. It's just like little hills. That's all we have, and it's like bare land. And so we was planting trees, and then we would try to figure out, in terms of our barriers in our territories over here and what we can do with it. And then we would do farming, because it's good for the quality of the soil here, because basically it was so bad, like the quality of the land and everything, that nothing grows here. Really.
Wow.
It's just
so
like,
it was literally barren. I mean, it was nothing there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so
I really take my head off your mom. I mean, for having that vision. It has really taken a lot to get it even started at that time.
Absolutely.
So, well, I guess now that what it is today, and there are many families living there, as you mentioned to me earlier.
Yeah. So, we have families of 4 generations, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it has come to fruition, and it must be really a fantastic moment for your mom, especially, and also yourself. You've been helping out as well. And I guess, where do you see the future of this? Sorry, we are digressing from the testimonial. I'm so fascinated by your town, and hopefully I can visit it one of these days. And what is the vision about the future of this town? Is it more on like hospitality, or is it more on back to nature, or I mean, of course, cultural preservation? Where is the future direction of this town?
Well, I mean, it is now, thanks to the authority, it is now considered a tourist destination. So, of course, you guys can come and visit us. But
we'll get the whole NLG gang to go there. To
absolutely.
for a retreat, maybe.
But I guess it's more on the people who live here. So we want them to protect this and just uphold these values, because as I said, we have 4 generations of people living here, so from very young children, and we want them to learn the language. We want them to know about the culture and not throwing it away, because they can always learn about our fellows, other countries in the world and the language, but this is their
especially
root.
Now with the internet, they can connect.
But this is their root, and we really want them to hold on to it.
And you are what, class 3 NLG practitioner?
I'm a class 2.
Class 2, and your mom is class 3, right? You mentioned.
Yep.
Okay, so it's really nice. And what drew you into this? I mean, what connected you to NLG?
Actually, my mom introduced it to me, and she said because it resonates with her. because
Right.
she's also someone who's sort of gifted in that area.
Mhm.
And so she introduced it to me and she said, you know, give it a go and see if you know, just feel it for yourself. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to approach it with an open mind. And so here I am in class 2 already and waiting for class 3 if that's possible.
Yeah, well, I think class 3 will be pretty soon as well, from what I know. And also, what kind of experience have you so far in your NLG journey? What are the things that happened to you? Perhaps you would like to reveal to the viewers?
Yeah, so I started NLG like not even 2 months yet, but a lot of interesting things that happened that I didn't know that was possible. So the first thing that I noticed was when I finished class 1, and like many other people, I don't really feel like sensation down my spine. I can feel it in my forehead and then my ERC. But then I was like, maybe I was doing it wrong, or, you know, because I felt something else, but it wasn't that warmth that everyone was describing. And so then I thought, okay, maybe it doesn't really work for me, but I'm just going to persist with this. I'm just going to continue and see where it leads me. But then one day I burned my hand, right, with hot water. And I was like, oh, okay. So from previous experience, because, you know, me being clumsy as usual, I burned my hand quite a bit with hot water. And so usually I would have redness on my hands, of course, and then blisters if it gets really bad.
This is very common, yeah.
Yeah, very common. And then it doesn't help that I have extra sensitive skin. So my condition's a bit, you know, worse than others, I think. But this time I did the normal thing that I usually do, which is run my hands under cold water, putting on some ointment, and then just waiting for the blisters to appear. But this time I actually sat down and do self-healing, the energy self-healing for 5 minutes, 30 seconds. And then all I felt was that tingling sensation in my hand, but then nothing else. It was like very mild redness. And then I was waiting for the blisters, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and nothing happened. So yeah. So for the first time I was like, oh, like it works, right? I thought it didn't work because I didn't feel warmth, but it works for me. And so since then I've been noticing a lot of other things that happen as well. For example, something that was kind of surprising to me was that previously I have uneven eyes, as in the shape of my eyes. So the way that it creases,
normal and pretty perfect and well balanced to me.
I mean, previously, and you know, I have photos of it, right? Is that I have pretty uneven eyes, and you know, I sort of grow up with it, and at first I didn't notice it, but when I reached teenage year, like every other teenage girl, you know, putting on makeup and trying to sort of, and so then I become just really, really self-conscious, and I notice that it's particularly emphasized whenever I smile or in photos. It really emphasized the difference, and I just have like one small eye and one bigger eye, and I was so self-conscious about it. And then at one point I thought I might need to have a plastic surgery, but then I'm just terrified when it comes to, you know, just talking about doctors or surgeons, nurses, you know, anyone from the medical industry. I'm terrified of them. And so I thought, probably I'm going to live with these eyes for the rest of my life. But then after I finished...
I mean, from where I'm seated and where I'm looking, it looks pretty normal to me. And I'm sure all the viewers can confirm that you look pretty normal, really. Amazing. Well, I mean, yeah, if you, based on what you described, that is something which is very difficult to comprehend, you know. All your entire childhood, you experience that, you know, imbalance, you know, in terms of the shape of your eye. And suddenly to wake up one day for yourself, it must be like shocking, right? I mean, it's a wonderful thing, of course.
Oh, yeah, I just went ballistic. I just went, you know, and I was trying to look in different mirrors in my house, because I thought it's the mirrors that, you know, doing the trick. And so I was looking at one mirror.
It's an illusion. You probably thought it's an illusion.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so then I was looking at my phone and I was looking at other people's phone and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is happening. And then I'll go and ask other people and they're like, oh yeah, like they're getting like even. And so I'm
So
like,
you were
okay,
like
it's
in total
me.
disbelief,
Absolutely.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's amazing. That's a amazing thing, and I'm happy for you, really. Um, yeah. So I mean, miracles do happen, right? With NLG.
Yeah.
It's
And then
fantastic.
that was kind of surprising
Mhm.
because I remember I didn't even because when I do stem cell stimulation and self-healing, I like
Mhm.
to sort of think to my stem cells, sort of in a way, sort of like giving them commands. So like,
Intention.
hey, yeah. So like, hey, stem cells, please, fix these areas or, self-heal this area because I don't feel very well or like
Mm.
I need a little bit of extra support. But I didn't do that for my eye shape. I was
Mm.
actually doing it for my eyesight because I was using a lot of digital technologies. And so I
Yeah,
was like, okay, I'm worrying that
yeah.
my
The,
eyesight is going to get damaged.
the radiation, yeah, from the
Yeah.
process, yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought, if there's, around the areas of my eyes, if you detect any sort of deficits or any sort of, anything that's not healthy, I guess, and it's not pretty, could you please fix it? So I was sort of talking in my head with my stem cells. And then
Mhm.
before I know it, my eyes just get even. So that probably is something that my stem cell considered not pretty. And so it just go and fix it.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
wonderful thing about stem cells. Basically, it knows once it's activated, the stem cells will know what to do to fix your damaged cells or replacement if necessary. So that's the intelligence of the stem cells because they are undifferentiated cells. They have no specific function, so they will just go to the part of the organ in your body that needed to be fixed, and then they will become a differentiated cell. So that's another amazing practice of NLG, and yeah, I'm glad that it really worked well for you. And I think you don't have to pinch yourself and tell yourself now that it's real. Uh,
Yeah.
something that you enjoy for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely. Absolutely.
fantastic. Anything else that happened to you or to any
Uh,
ones or anybody that you would like to share?
yeah, so just last week, my wisdom teeth decide to play up because they're growing, and when they break through the gum, they hurt. And so usually it takes me like good 5 days to 10 days to recover.
Mhm,
And usually, of course, swelling and redness, and
mhm.
I'll be eating congee with very watery consistency
Yeah.
for a good
By the
five
way,
days.
congee is porridge. Some people may not understand.
Oh yeah, okay,
In
porridge.
Australia, we used
Mhm.
to call it congee a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be on that for a good 5 days. And, I'll be super angry and hungry at the same time because that's all I can eat.
You
And
get
so,
edgy, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, and super cranky whenever my wisdom teeth decide to play up.
Yeah.
But this time I was sort of channeling energy to that areas of,
Mhm.
of my jaw. And I was like, okay, I know that it's growing and I hope that it doesn't hurt like it usually does. And this time, two of them decide to play at the same time. So on both sides. And so you
Okay.
can imagine the agony.
The
But
you must have felt at
yeah,
that time. Yeah.
yeah. But this time, strangely, it like they don't hurt that as much. Like I can feel that they're doing something in there, right? But there's no visible swelling,
Mhm.
and it's just a lot more. It's just easier. It's a more pleasant experience overall.
Mhm.
And I was eating congee, but with a more sort of pasty consistency. So it's a
Mhm.
lot thicker. And so I wasn't that hungry. And I
Mhm.
was able to eat some other things that was a bit softer,
Mhm.
on the softer side. And then by, I think, fourth day, I was on regular rice.
Mm.
So I was really, really happy about that. And
Yeah.
so I will continue to do that because they're still growing. And mine's a bit just, trying to make it difficult at times. They're just like that. And so I just have to deal with them. Um,
That's amazing. I guess yeah, in a way, the energy has helped, soothe the discomfort and
yeah,
probably can get on with your life without feeling too edgy or
yeah.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. So wonderful things are happening to your life. I guess these are more
Yeah,
related to maybe your health in a way, your wisdom tooth, your everything.
yeah,
But I guess, coming back to the law of vibration and the law of attraction, when your frequency goes up, better things starts happening to you as well. So I hope you will, or I don't know if anything good has happened to you, or maybe more good things will continue to happen to you as you move on to class 3 and class 4, before you eventually go back to Australia, right, to resume your studies. So this is really wonderful to hear that the NLG practice has helped a lot of people like yourself. And yeah, it's wonderful. What about your mom? I'm sure your mom will also probably experience. Maybe we'll get her onto the show one of these days.
yeah. Well, mum, her stories are a lot more extraordinary than my story, because like I'm just sort of self-healing at the moment, and I use a bit of persuasion with my nephew. But I haven't really healed anyone yet, because I still want to work within myself, because I feel like there's a lot more possibilities, just judging from my eyes. And so I was like, okay, I want to explore more of what this, how to sort of tailor energy to help with my daily life. And the things that I share, they're not like big things, but they are big to me, because it's, they relate to my everyday life, and it makes my life easier and more convenience and less pain. And
Absolutely.
so I was like, yeah, and it's it's great. It has been great. And so, but for mum though, she has been she's been able to do more extraordinary thing. Yeah, definitely.
And tell us about the persuasion you did for yes.
I've been using
set an intention and you say certain things to persuade. Tell us about it.
So I've been using persuasion with my nephew, because he's at that stage where 12, 14 years old boys, transition from primary school to middle school, and the workload, homework, academic content, it's so much more than when you're in primary school. And he's one of those kids that just he doesn't like to study. He's smart, but he doesn't put in the work. And so I was like, no, this is not great, buddy. You need to do some work at least. And I sat him down and I was revising the content that he did in class. And he was giving this attitude, right? As a teenage boy would do.
As a teenager, I guess,
Yeah. And then, the attitude and the I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. Like, why am I doing this? And so at first, I actually spent like, I think 3 days talking to him, just like getting him to sort of see the benefit.
I'm so sorry
doing
to cut you off there, and we'll have to resume this.
Oh yeah, sure. 9 o'clock.
So we'll come back to your story in a short while.
Absolutely.
All right? Okay, so here we go, and this is the.
Cho đến khi chúc phúc thông báo hết giờ.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our NLG live stream. Mr. Lee would like to send the NLG energy to the beloved audience. When he says start, please look into the middle of his forehead and imagine you are receiving NLG into your forehead. Then just relax and let this loving energy absorb to your body for 5 minutes and 30 seconds until Mr. Lee says done.
Vâng ạ, hãy đón nhận nguồn năng lượng an lành này bằng nụ cười và những cái tâm thái tốt nhất. Và kể những quý vị chưa học của lớp nào cả, mà đặc biệt là những người có cái sức khỏe không tốt, thì đến với năng lượng gốc hãy đón nhận vào 9 giờ sáng và 9 giờ tối. Đây là những cái lúc mà năng lượng tuyệt vời nhất. Và ngay sau đây xin mời các quý vị sẽ cùng gặp chú Phúc ạ. Và xin mời chú ạ. Dạ.
Chào tất cả anh chị em đến livestream ngày hôm nay, và đặc biệt là chào gia đình của Nguyễn Minh Hưng, phải không ạ? Nguyễn Minh Hưng cùng với cháu là Uyển Nhi.
Uyển Nhi ạ. Dạ.
Uyển Nhi, cái tên giống trong phim kiếm hiệp quá. Chắc là đó sẽ coi nhiều phim bộ lắm phải không? Rồi bây giờ chúng ta cũng đã tới sắp tới giờ rồi, còn có mấy giây nữa thôi, mấy chục giây nữa thôi, thì chú mời tất cả anh chị em chuẩn bị nha, với một cái tâm thái gọi là niềm vui từ trong trái tim của mình, và cái hạnh phúc để đón nhận cái năng lượng để gửi cho đến tế bào của chúng ta, để cho anh chị em để sớm được phục hồi sức khỏe, để có được một sức khỏe tốt nhất, cũng như là một cái trạng thái tỉnh táo nhất trong mọi tình huống đến với chúng ta. Và Hoàng Anh cho chú thời gian nha. Bây giờ chú mời tất cả anh chị em chuẩn bị, và giờ chúng ta bắt đầu ạ.
Dạ thưa chú hết rồi ạ.
Vâng, anh ơi, cho chú biết cái con số mà những anh chị em đã học trong cái lớp 3, lớp 2 và lớp 1 và tổng cộng là bao nhiêu không?
Dạ nếu con số hiện nay thì là cũng phải vâng cũng khoảng 100.000 người đấy ạ. Đúng hơn. Vâng.
Thì đó.
Okay, we're back. Right. So yeah, coming back to your wonderful story about your nephew, as you were saying that, you know, it was a bit difficult at his age as a teenager, not really interested in his studies, I guess, and how
yeah, absolutely. So he
set the intention and persuasion. Yeah, so what happened? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I you know, do a lot of explaining to him, and then he was just like still giving the attitude and doesn't want to be, you know, studying with me. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try using persuasion, that formula. And so then I did, and for, I think at first nothing really changed, and I was like, okay, but it's not easy to persuade a person, so I'm just going to continue, I'm going to persist with it. And so by the 5th day, for the first time, he asked me questions about the content in the book, like actively asking question. And so I was like, okay, that's a good start, because he showed no interest at all, like at the start. And so then, like until now, which has been, I think, more than 10 days-ish, he'd been actively asking question, and he actually let me know if he doesn't understand something and would like me to explain it to him again. And then he is also a little bit more active about his study schedule, and you know, sort of asking me, okay, so when are we having a session together, right?
Wow.
To revise what I've done in class. And so
that's amazing. That's a big transformation, actually.
Yeah.
For someone who is totally uninterested in his studies to begin to ask questions and genuinely wanting to, I guess, do well, you know, and that's amazing. And that's been like 10 days already, right?
Yeah, so that's 10 days.
For the benefit of our viewers, they probably don't understand what is this persuasion thing that we're talking about. Let me just briefly explain. In our practice of one of the formulas is that you can set intentions and persuade your family members and loved ones, and you can sort of like tell them things that they should do, you know, little by little each day. And that's exactly what Isabella has done with her nephew. And within 5 days, she started seeing some result, and now she's in her 10th day. And I believe she will continue, right? Because it's already
absolutely
showing good positive signs already. Yeah. That's nice to know.
And
that.
I can tell that he's not there yet. He's not there yet, definitely. But I will continue to do that, and hopefully he'll be, you know, even more active in his own study.
Yeah. So it goes to show that this energy sort of knows what we want. Can I make that conclusion? I believe I can. But anyway, without going too deep into it, one of my videos that I've done will explain that. All right. So the energy that we are dealing with, actually, it's an intelligent energy. Seems to know. Otherwise, how will the persuasion work? You follow my line of argument. And this is where wonderful things can start to happen, because everything is about energy, and everything is about vibration, because energy is also vibration. And when things starts to change, then naturally everything else around us will also change as well. So it's really fantastic that for someone as young as you, and for someone as educated as you, because, you know, to a lot of people, we start telling them, hey, you come and sit, and for every day you look into the sky and imagine this energy coming, and you receive it for 5 minutes, and I know you're laughing already, right? And when that was told to me before I got involved in NLG. I was like, seriously, really getting energy from the outer space, you know? So what would be your advice for new people, I mean, who are watching this for the first time? What would be your advice for them, Isabella?
Well, I guess it's not necessarily an advice because I'm like 23 years old and I'm afraid to sort of giving advice.
Right.
But my
I guess.
yeah, but my take on it is that I actually didn't come to NLG because of a specific illness. So I didn't look to cure a particular illness.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come because of, you know, like sort of OH or actually having a particular issues.
Mm-hmm.
But because I do psychology, so it's very scientific.
Yeah.
But I actually come across a few subjects when I was in uni. It's about anthropology.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you do anthropology, there's a lot of phenomena, there's a lot of, you know, different things that happen all over the world.
Absolutely.
But even looking from the Western point of view, from a Western lens, you can't really sort of explain it in words. And so me having the advantage of having, you know, being from a different background and then getting education from a Western country,
mm-hmm.
That sort of just opened up my mind to a lot of things. And so when I come to NLG, I approach it with an open mind. That's all I can say. And I thought to myself, if it works, it works. And I'm going to look into it with a lot of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't work, then I'm not going to resent it. I'm going to think about it as just another mindfulness or meditation session. And so that in itself is already very good so that you can take things off your mind. And so I guess just embrace it, really. And
it's amazing. You know why I asked you that question specifically? Because you graduated in psychology, and psychology has a lot to do with the mind. So
yeah,
that's something like that. Of course, your conscious mind must be able to comprehend and then accept, right? And that is something, I guess, not so easy for you, you know. And but I'm glad you kept an open mind. So did I, you know. And yeah, I'm also one of those guys who likes to see everything being explained in a scientific way. So I can understand the people who are probably watching for the first time right now, wondering what is it exactly that we are talking about. But in your case, and you're just being honest, you just experimented for your own self to see how far you can take this energy thing. And that's a wonderful thing, you know, that things are happening to you and also to your nephew, and probably more people will benefit as you journey along. And it's really great that you kept an open mind. I guess it's not only an open mind, but it's also an open mind and an open heart, because I like to emphasize that it is the heart that controls the mind, not the other way around. And I really wish we can go on, but time is of the essence, as they would say. So I really want to thank you, Isabella, for coming out today to share with us your stories. And I really sincerely wish all the best in your mom's work, especially on this fantastic town that, you know, together your family, they are helping to build. And I really hope that better things will happen, you know, for your family as you continue to journey with NLG. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me today.
All the best. Okay, so goodbye, everybody. And
thank you. Bye-bye.
Hope to visit your town soon.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, bye.